Hi, this is Mary Ann going to give you a short yoga flow video with an emphasis on opening up the hips. Now, this is something you should only do if you are already warm, so it's great to do immediately after you've worked out, or if you need to warm up a little bit, I'll go to my 10-minute sun flow so that you'll be warm enough to get into some of these nice hip opening poses. So we're going to start out standing, facing this direction. And let's just go ahead and inhale and circle the arms out and up. And on an exhale, we're going to forward fold and set the right leg to step back behind you to lunge. Go ahead and lower that knee, untuck the toes. You can keep the hands on the floor, or if it feels okay, climb up onto the thigh for this low lunge as we start to shift the hips forward. Great opportunity here to stretch the front of this hip. If you feel safe doing so, release the hands from the thigh and inhale the arms up overhead. If you need more cushion under the knee, use a folded blanket or even an eye pillow or a sock will do. Go ahead and frame that foot. Let's tuck the back toes under. We're going to shift the hips back and lengthen out this leg. You may need to wiggle the heel forward a bit. Inhale to lengthen the spine, and on an exhale, melt the nose down towards the knee. And just start to lift the head. We're going to stretch the IT band. Let's go ahead and walk that foot towards the front of your mat and flex it. And then let's walk the fingers towards the back side of your mat. And if you never knew where your IT band was, you just found it. Inhale and exhale. And we'll start to walk that foot back to center. Bring the hands back to center. And let's go ahead and place this left shoulder inside of the left knee. Tuck the back toes under to lift the knee and just walk it back a little bit. And we're setting up here for a lizard lunge with a couple of optional variations. If you're feeling a really good stretch, stay right here. Or if it's okay, you can come down to elbows. Now again, you may need more support here, so you can stay up on your hands, or if you have yoga blocks, you can place them on the floor and put your elbows on top of the blocks. Okay? We'll just take a few breaths here to just kind of let the connective tissue in the hip start to work a bit. Now, I mentioned a couple of variations we can do here. What you could do is take this left foot and flex it and roll onto the outer blade of your foot. It's going to feel just a little bit differently. And you could even take the top of the foot that's behind you, push it into the floor to lift that right knee. Again, just a little bit of a different feel. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and lower that back knee. If you're on your elbows, go ahead and climb up onto your hands. We're going to lift the back toes under to lift that knee and go ahead and walk towards the front of your mat. Just take a moment here in a wide forward bend with the hands right underneath of the shoulders. Inhale to lengthen the spine. And on an exhale, let the head drop, let the elbows drop. Again, depending on how open the hamstrings are, you might be able to get your elbows onto your hands. But again, elbows onto the floor, right? But again, don't force that. Inhale and exhale. And if you're on your elbows, lift up onto your hands. Let's start to bend this right knee and start to angle the knee and toes to face the short end of your mat, finding a lunge again. Lower that left knee, untuck the toes, and once again, if we feel safe doing so, we can climb up onto the thigh here and just let those hips sink forward. Inhale and exhale. Maybe release the hands. Inhale to rise up, inviting a nice back bend here. And exhale to frame the foot. We can wiggle the toes and heels forward a bit. Tuck the back toes under to lift the hips and sink them back. So once again, inhale to lengthen the spine. And exhale to melt the nose down towards the knee. If you've been seated a long time today, the back of that thigh might be feeling really tight. So just give it time. Start to lift the head and just walk that foot to the left side of your mat and flex it. And walk your fingers towards the right side of the mat as we stretch that IT band. The IT band is a band of connective tissue that goes from the side of your knee all the way up to the side of your hip. Inhale and exhale. We'll start to bring the hands and the foot back through center. Once again, let's step on that right foot. Being mindful that that knee wants to be over the ankle, and we can bring the shoulder inside of the knee. I like to tuck my back toes under and move the knee back. Usually by now you can move that leg a little bit further back. So again, options on the hands. We can stick the blocks under the elbows if we want to come down, or the elbows might find their way by themselves. Inhale and exhale, keeping the heart open. If you want to try that variation, flex that right foot and roll onto the outer blade of the right foot. And we want to make sure that this left leg is in line with the hip. You could press the top of the left foot into the floor just enough that you can lift that left knee, really turning on those leg muscles here. Inhale. And exhale, let that left knee come back down. Once again, we'll rise up onto the hands. We'll step that right foot on the floor. Tuck the back toes under to lift the knee. And walk the hands towards me again. Let's lift up our heels and spin them out a little bit. And once again, drop the head. You may find it comfortable to grab the backs of your ankles here. And we'll inhale to lengthen the spine. And as we exhale, we'll drop the head. Now I'm inviting a little bit of arm strength here to encourage the head to come a little bit closer. But again, this should feel like a juicy stretch, not pain. So we never want to force it. Inhale. On the exhale, step your hands under your shoulders again. Come more to a flat back. And let's turn the left knee and toes to face the short end of your mat. Here we are in a runner's lunge again. From here, we're going to spin that right heel down and inhale as we revolve this front arm up and back, finding warrior two. Making sure all four corners of both feet are touching the mat. That would be the ball of the big toe, the ball of the pinky toe, the outer heel, and the inner heel. Inhale. And exhale, setting up for triangle. Let's straighten the front leg. We'll bring the front arm forward as we bring the back hip back. And then we'll go ahead and let this left hand find the shin as we straighten this top arm. Now you might be here with the hand on the shin and that might be all the stretch you need. Or see if that bottom hand wants to come all the way down to the floor. Imagine spinning your heart up to the sky. Inhale and exhale. And start to invite a little bit more bend into that front knee. And see if we might slide the elbow right on the thigh. Just going to open up the shoulder a little bit here. Let's go ahead and stretch this top arm forward, down, and around. Up, down, and around. Making a big circle. Really stretch that arm out. Down and around, and then we'll just come back into lifting that arm up to the sky. Go ahead and circle it down and around. Let's transition here to a side lunge. So the knees and toes are forward. Let's go ahead and bend this left knee, and we're just going to crawl the arms out in front. So the right leg is nice and straight. Inhale. And exhale, start to walk the hands back in towards you. And let's go ahead and shift that into a right side lunge. So the right knee is bent, the left leg is straight. All 10 toes are forward and we'll once again crawl the hands forward. Feel that deep stretch on the inner thigh. And start to walk the hands towards you. Let's turn this right knee and toes to face the short end of your mat and crawl ourselves into this runner's lunge. Go ahead and spin that back heel down and let's revolve right up into our warrior two once again. Taking our gaze right over the middle finger, making sure we feel sturdy and strong in our stance. Allow that belly button to just hug the front of the spine. Inhale and exhale. Let's go ahead and straighten this right leg, and we're going to bring the right fingertips forward as the left hip moves back and start to let this hand find the shin. So this left arm is stretching up to the sky, and if it's okay with our balance, we can look up to it. But if not, just look towards me. Both legs are straight, but I really would like you to keep at least a micro bend in the right knee. See if that right hand wants to crawl a little bit closer to the floor. Inhale and exhale. Start to invite more of a bend in that right knee, and maybe we can just slide that right elbow right onto the thigh. You might be able to bend that knee and sink a little bit lower. We're going to make 3 big circles with this left arm. Let's take it down and around. Really feel working through the back of that shoulder, down and around. Last one, big one. Inhale and exhale, down and around. Bring it back up, and then just go ahead and circle that arm forward. So once again, we're going to find a side lunge. Let's start to face front again. We're going to go ahead and bend that right knee, crawl those arms out in front. And then just walk the hands towards you, shift into that left knee and left foot, and crawl those arms out in front. And then just walk those hands towards you. Take the left knee and toes to point to the short end of the mat. We're going to set up again for another flow here. Spin that back heel down. Revolve this arm right up into warrior two. Take a breath in. Exhale, let it go. Inhale to find reverse warrior as we stretch that arm up and over the ear. Maybe 3 circles on this side. Take it down and around. Now this right arm is folded behind my low back, by the way. You could also just let the hand rest on the thigh. Take it down and around. And then let's see if we might just hold this reverse warrior for a moment. Inhale. As you exhale, find that side angle pose. Elbow meets the thigh. Right arm comes up to the sky. We're setting up for half moon here. So go ahead and take your right hand to your hip, and let's take the left hand to the floor. It's about 6 to 8 inches diagonally away from your pinky toe. Now we're going to really rely on strong legs and strong core here as we lift this right leg. So maybe get a little momentum going, and then see if you might go ahead and lift that leg straight up. Now you can always put a block under the left hand if you need it, okay? Take that shoulder, lift it up and back. Maybe that right arm. See if that right arm wants to lift up to the sky. Inhale. And exhale, you're doing great. Let's go ahead and square everything off so we're in this standing split. See if you might stretch those right toes up to the ceiling as you drop the head and bring the nose towards the knee. On your next exhale, bend that left knee. Let the right foot find the floor. Look forward for a moment in this runner's lunge, and then see if you might just rise up to a high crescent lunge. High crescent lunge. Inhale. As you exhale, go ahead and lower the hands to the hips and step that front leg forward. We're setting up for big toe balance. Take a moment to lift the toes of your left foot and set them back down. Draw the belly button into the spine. Maybe keeping the hands on the hips. Let's just raise this front leg and flex the foot. And just see where your balance is. Maybe you're going to choose to stay here. If you want to go a little further, take your peace sign fingers of your right hand and bind your right big toe. Think about bringing that left thigh back. We might be able to extend that leg. See how you do. Maybe we'll bring it out to the side. Maybe the opposite arm shoots out to the side. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring it back through center. Bend the knee. And we're just going to step that right foot back to face forward, finding goddess pose. So the knees and toes are angled out to the corners. The heart is shining forward. You want to make it a little bit more balancy? Lift the heels and sink the hips lower. Inhale and exhale. And then let's just go ahead and lower those heels, straighten the legs to a 5-point star. We're going to go ahead and take the right leg. Let the knees and the toes point towards the short end of the mat. Bend the knee, and we're just going to go right into Warrior 2 here. So like any Warrior 2, we got the knee and toes of the front leg going straight ahead. The back knee and toes are angled out a little bit. Inhale and exhale. And then let's go ahead and just drop this back arm, stretch this front arm up and back into our reverse warrior. So I'm just taking that little half bind as I bring my left forearm behind the low back. Here come those circles. We're going to take it down and around. And down and around. One more, down and around. Stretch it up over that ear. And as you exhale, let that elbow find the thigh and bring this left arm up to the sky. Really keeping all the muscles engaged here. So we can go ahead and maybe slip this right elbow off of the floor and take the right hand to the floor. We're going to bring the left hand to the hip and roll your shoulder up and back. Now once again, setting up for that half moon, we might get a little bit of momentum going and then see if you might go ahead and flex that back heel towards the wall. Think about still trying to stack the hips. Maybe this top arm comes up. Inhale and exhale. Doing an awesome job. Doing an awesome job. Let's go ahead and square off the shoulders and the hips towards the short end of your mat, and we'll find that standing split. So we're drawing the knee in, or the nose rather, in towards the knee, and we're trying to raise that left leg. You might see quite a difference in one side versus the other. That's just how our bodies are. Don't judge it. Inhale. As you exhale, bend the right knee. Let the left foot find the floor. Find this runner's lunge with that ankle under the knee. And then if you're ready, let the hands rise up as we find that high crescent lunge. Inhale and exhale. And then just go ahead and bring your hands to your hips and step that back foot forward. But we're not going to pause. We're not going to lose our momentum. Lift up the right toes, set them back down, bend the left knee, and just stand on the ball of the foot for a moment. So once again, maybe we'll just take this in little steps. Strong standing leg, flex that left knee and flex the foot. And see how you do. Left side's always my tougher side. Take the peace sign fingers, bind that big toe. Squeeze that right butt cheek. Maybe we can extend that leg straight out. Maybe we move it out to the side. Other arm can come out too. Inhale. And as you exhale, come back center and float it down. Superb. Let's go ahead and inhale, circle out and up. And on an exhale, swan dive down. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, step back to plank. You can lower the knees down or keep them elevated, chaturanga. You can do a cobra here or an upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. And then let's come to a high plank here. Lower the knees. Big toes touch. Walk the knees out wide. Sink your hips back. Crawl your arms out in front. And rest in child's pose. Hopefully feeling a little bit looser in the hips. Inhale. And exhale. And then just go ahead and lift the head. Start to walk the hands towards you. Shift your feet off to the side. Have a seat. And I thank you so much for joining me for this short yoga flow with that emphasis on opening the hips. Hopefully you feel a little bit more energized and a little freer in your body. Have a wonderful day.